Hi, welcome back everybody, it's Mike Newton down here at Lytham Golf Academy. We've got a new review for you today and it's Titleist TS2 TS3 Hybrids. So 2019 we've seen Titleist introduce TS range of woods and fairway woods, which have been massively popular, very good performing woods, big presence on tour, and now they've started to introduce the TS2 and TS3 in the hybrid. So interesting way, maybe they haven't launched it all as one big family at the beginning of the year. They sort of dripped in TS4 driver, TS1 driver, and now we're starting to see TS2 and 3 hybrids sort of midway through the season. So a bit of an interesting one. I'm sure you'll have your thoughts, so comment down below as to maybe why, or if you like these staggered launches of maybe one sort of TS family in a way. But anyway, we're going to review these hybrids for you. As I say, got TS2, TS3. We're going to look at the heads, see which is the difference between these two, and which maybe might be the one for you to go out and try yourselves. Okay, so going to start off with TS2 head. So slightly larger profile against TS3, so a little bit bigger from that front to back section. We've got that weighted screw in the sole which is fixed, which is actually positioned a little bit more towards the club face. So maybe sort of tendency, maybe TS2 might tend to, or you'd think you'd see that weight more in that back section, high launch, and sort of get that sort of ball coming in, landing softly. But it is quite a bit bigger head from that front to back compared to TS3, which we'll have a little look at. So I've got this set at, well, this is a 19-degree head, comes in different loft options as you'd expect. And then you've also got the sure fit neck sleeve on here that you tights are very renowned for, so loads of different options of changing lie angle as well as that loft to really sort of help dial in your desired flight and also your shot direction. Okay, let's get this first one hit. TS2. Good, that felt really solid, lovely sound to it. So I've got myself out about 238 I think I am to be exact, and that's flown pretty much all the way there. That was a pretty good hit. That's lovely. Really nice. Nice high ball flight there. Again, that's flying along all the way there. That's a good hit there. So we're still getting that TS sort of classic looks and very much that Titleist look, really, you know, that black, jet black sort of finish, nice sort of rounded sort of shape to the head. White grooves on the black face, so very much they stand out. Probably just helps a little bit with alignment, to be honest. Okay, that's a little bit of a toey one. Going to see that turn over a little bit more. Yeah, there we go. So possibly that's the big down thing I would say with hybrids, certainly for me, and I think for a lot of sort of better players, is you get that one way, just catch that toe or just get that club face a little bit close. You tend to see that sort of left miss, which is probably one of the reasons where many of the better players would tend to opt more for that utility iron as opposed to possibly a hybrid to try and reduce that sort of shape. Now the good thing with Titleist and the neck sleeve is you can make these 0.75 degrees flatter in the lie. So obviously the flatter the lie we go, the less tendency of that ball moving left. So it helps to try and keep the control of that club face coming through impact. Yeah, lovely sound to it, really good acoustics, and we see that through the whole range of the woods from Titleist. That was a nice shot, again flying up all the way there. Through the whole range of the woods, you know, through the drivers, the fairways, we saw some really good sort of acoustic sounds, and we're seeing that complement those quite nicely in this TS2 up to now. Lovely. Really nice. Going to be really interested to see what TS3 does against that. That seems to be quite a nice high sort of ball flight there. So again, maybe for the golf who wants to get that higher flight, softer landing, possibly TS2 is one to maybe look at. I'm expecting maybe TS3 to come out a little bit lower, but let's jump into that straight away and see what the differences are with TS3 against TS2. Right, okay, so TS3 in our hands. So I've got the same shaft here. I've got it set to A1, and again, it's 19 degrees of loft, so same setup as we had in TS2. As I said, the shape of the head is changing differently here. So we've got a more narrower from front to back section head, so a little bit more of a squat from front to back, and just looks to be a little bit more, not quite as rounded on its shape, a little bit more sort of squashed in, and a little bit more square-like in terms of its appearance behind the golf ball. It's a nice looking appearance. Again, we've got that black gloss finish, so it does complement the rest of the TS range nicely. Okay, let's get his first one hit. So say, same loft, same setting, same shaft, just slightly different header with that TS3. Okay, that was a bit low in the club face. That has flown out low. That's more through strike though. That's a little bit of a thinny one. See, that's dropping short there, so not the greatest of strikes to start off with. That's a better strike. Slightly out that right. That's gone like a rocket. Seems to have come off really fiery, that. Still flighted pretty high, but seemed to have a little bit more of a forward flight on there. Be interested to look at spin against maybe TS2. It seemed to carry all the way similar to TS2, but it just seemed to visually have a bit more of a forward flight there. Felt very solid. Again, the cue sticks are really nice. Lovely. Very accurate there. Just seem to get a little bit more out of that. So TS3 has the screw in the toe section, so it's got this movable weight, the cartridge in a way that sits inside the head, so you can change those cartridges, make it a little bit more draw bias, fade bias, add a little bit more weight, take a little bit more weight away from the head. So very much more of a dialing in of the weight, and then maybe a little bit of the sort of draw bias to fade bias in the actual club head itself. So more movability than what we see in TS2, but very much ties into what we see with the TS3 driver. We get the same sort of idea in the driver as well. Okay, so there's the toey one. That's exactly what I hit with TS2. And there's that left miss. So, again, it always scares me, that shot with a hybrid. Many of you know the left one is the weaker one for me. So when I get the toey one with a hybrid, it does tend to give me that shot. So I think for me, if I was going to go into a hybrid, I would always want to put it in that flatter lie setting to try and stop that sort of shape of shot. The downside that for me being 6'5", you go flatter, it does feel like the toe of the club is pushing into the ground. So visually it's hard to sort of accept that at a dress position, but I probably prefer it more of controlling that club through that impact position. It's lovely. Really nice. Beautiful flight on that. Yeah, feels very solid. Really like the feel, like the look of it. Okay, so 5 shots hit there, but I'm going to hit one more because I want to get rid of that first one. The first one was pretty much a thin, so I'm going to get rid of that from the numbers. So I'm going to hit one more shot, make sure I get a bit of a better strike than that first one. And then we've got some like for like numbers against the TS2. Good. Slightly low in the face, but that's much better than that first one. Nice and neutral again. Yeah, just drop it a little bit short there, just that slight low in the face sort of strike. Okay, so there's TS2, there's TS3. Let's go and look at some numbers in a little bit more detail. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to delete that first one of TS3 because it was a very bad strike there. So we'll get that one out of the equation. There we go. So we've got 5 shots with each. So ball speed 145.4, 145.8, so nothing in it at all. Launch angle, identical. Okay, spin number, pretty similar. Fraction lowest TS2. Probably that's more than anything. It's just changing strike around a little bit more than anything there, isn't it? So maybe that last one there, you see cut a little bit low in the face. You see that split up at 4400 with TS3. So that's probably just made the difference of there. So hardly anything difference on spin number there. Peaking out very similar. Well, exactly the same 31, and carry distance again pretty identical around that 231 to 233. So really from that testing there's not really any difference between those two clubs for me on that testing. Now clearly there's difference of looks, which is more again what you prefer the look of. The slightly bigger head to slightly smaller head. Again, there's a feel aspect in there as well. You've got to weigh into the equation, which probably would choose it or swing it more for me personally. Probably for me, I do prefer that slightly more neater look as opposed to the slightly bigger back section that you see in TS2. Right guys, so there we go, there's TS2 TS3 Hybrid. So coming into alongside with the drivers, the fairway woods, I think they just make basically complete in the family there in the wood section. Well, the reason why it's taken maybe so long for Titleist to launch this, again, I don't know, you need to maybe make that call. Comment down below, let me know your thoughts. Is it good to stagger a family of woods or a family of models in a way? Or would you prefer to see at the beginning of the season and launched all four the drivers, all the fairways and all the hybrids? So potentially if you're a big Titleist fan, you like things matched up, you could got all options, the drivers, fairways and the hybrids to purchase at once. I don't know, again, interested to hear your thoughts as always. If you haven't subscribed and you do like the content I'm putting out there, then please consider do so. Ring that bell for get notifications of any future videos. Follow up on social media platforms, both Instagram and Twitter, and hopefully we'll catch up with you all very soon.